this is Alison Solvin with another Technique Tuesday card. Today I wanted to show you how to create this card using the Swallowtail butterfly and also a technique called Emboss Resist. So let's get started. We're going to start with a piece of plain white cardstock. This piece is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches because I'm going to layer it on another piece of cardstock before I apply it to the card base. I want to bring in my Swallowtail stamp, here it is, and Versamark ink. I find it easiest to ink up a large stamp by putting it face up and applying the ink directly to the stamp. This also allows for even pressure and coverage of your stamp. Before I stamp it, because I'm going to emboss it, I like to rub the embossing buddy across my piece of cardstock. This just removes any static or any fingerprints from your piece and just helps deflect some of the stray pieces of embossing powder from sticking where you don't want it to. So once I've got that ready, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my butterfly. So just stamp it like so. It's going to go off the page, and that's fine because the stamp is larger than the piece of cardstock, but that's okay. You can hear that squish when I pull it off. The Versamark pad is very sticky, and so sometimes it sticks to the paper, which is okay. Next, I want to put a piece of scrap paper underneath, and I'm applying white embossing powder over the entire image. So just dump it on like so. And you just tap off any of the extra that you've got. Got any mixed pieces? Like that. I have a little bit of stray there, but because I use the embossing buddy, if I just turn it over and give it a little flick, it just goes. Okay? So now we want to heat set this. This is our heat gun, Stampin' Up's heat gun, and it's got 2 settings, setting 1 and setting 2, and you want to set it to setting 2, which is the hottest one. Start in one corner and heat set your image. Okay, so once you've got that completely heat set, I'm just going to set it aside for a second just to cool down a bit before I do the next step. In the meantime, I wanted to show you this little accent that I put on. This is just a little butterfly, and it's just stamped on a piece of vellum. So again, I'm going to bring in a piece of vellum, and again, I'm going to just rub it with the embossing buddy just to remove any stray fingerprints or grease. And this is a little butterfly I'm going to use from the Papillon Potpourri stamp set. And I'm going to turn my stamp this way just because I know I'm going to be punching it out and I want it to be going the right way here. So hopefully you can see that on the vellum. And again, I'm just going to apply embossing powder like so and tap off what you don't need into your scrap, and then that can easily be returned to the pot. The great thing about our heat gun is that it has 2 settings. It has a 1 and a 2, and this is vellum, and for vellum and window sheets I set the temperature at 1. It's a lower heat, but it still sets the embossing powder on your vellum, but it doesn't buckle the paper, which is really nice, because if you use the high setting, it has a tendency to just kind of pucker up vellum. So look at that, it's perfect, perfectly flat, and it's already embossed. This stamp set has a matching punch, and so I'm just going to go ahead and turn it the right way around here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in and line it up. You can see where it lines up, and you can just punch out that little image. Isn't that adorable? And that's going to be a little accent, so I can set that aside for now. Now I want to color this image, and because it's been embossed, I'm going to bring in Wisteria Wonder as my ink, and I'm going to bring in a dauber, a sponge dauber. Because it's been embossed, wherever the embossing powder is, it's going to resist the ink, so it's going to make it so that I can apply ink underneath or through these little holes on the image, these open spaces, and around the image if I want. So I'm going to just ink up my dauber, and all I do is just squish it into the pad. Now, this is just how I do it, and I find it works really well, so try it. Instead of daubing on like so with your dauber, I want you to just apply it in a circular motion, just like this. And I hope you can see, I'm sure you can, how that ink is filling up all those open spaces. And I'm going off, going over the edges, and that's fine too. It just creates a nice little halo effect. So inking and just applying in a circular motion. Then that way you don't get all those little circular images from daubing it on, which I don't like. This looks much more natural. So once you've got it the way you like, you can stop inking, and then that's your finished piece. So I'm just going to bring in the card again so you can see it. So I'm just going to bring in the card, here it is. And so you can see where I've applied the ink and I just created this nice little color. Put a piece of the organdy ribbon and my little butterfly with a glue dot, and I've added just a few little pearls to accent it. And then a saying. So that's Emboss Resist using the Swallowtail butterfly. I hope you've enjoyed this project, and I hope you'll give it a try yourself. Thanks so much. Happy stamping.
If you wanna play, make it about a place. It'll take creation, imagination. Try to draw outside the line. Let us see inside your mind. You'll find